I'm so desperate to talk about Riley Leonard. I forgot about the consensus QB2 in this draft class as of right now, and maybe he'll move up at some point. Drake May out of North Carolina went up against Spencer Rattler in Charlotte when they faced the Gamecocks of South Carolina. And let's start with Spencer. And I want to ask you this question because I was impressed with how Spencer played. He feels like the latest version of sort of Hunter Renfrow or Stetson Bennett. He's been in college football forever, but I thought he looked comfortable. I thought he looked confident. His arm strength is legit. It always has been. He's a pretty good athlete, and he is tough as nails. And that offensive line had no chance. He got sacked 9 times, I believe. Could have been what felt like 50.
Yeah.
What would it have looked like if you switched quarterbacks? What if Spencer had played for UNC and Drake had played for South Carolina? Will we be talking about Spencer Rattler right now?
No.
I thought Spencer did. Okay, well, tell me your thoughts versus Spencer. I thought he was impressed.
He did very well, and I thought he picked up where he left off last year. If you watched the tape in the beginning of the year, it was awful. I thought he picked up where he left off last year. Now, I agree. He was didn't get much help from his offensive line, but he can make all the throws. I still think he's a little inaccurate, missed a couple of layups that he should have hit in that game, but he's athletic, and I think he's going to start climbing up some draft boards too. And I thought it was a very solid performance. It didn't blow me away.
Okay.
But I thought that from what I seen early last year to where he's at right now, it's a night and day difference. And he may be a climber as well going through this process. You can talk about almost any of these quarterbacks that we're going to talk about today that are going to be jockeying, as you said, for that number 3 position. But he is not Drake May.
No, he's not Drake May, but he certainly would have benefited from an offensive line that didn't allow him to get killed play after play. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, maybe they get the ball out faster on some plays. That helped too. But
let's talk about your guy, Leggett, number 17, the wide receiver.
Yeah,
for
I
South
was
Carolina.
like, who in the heck is this kid? I'm like, who's this big guy going up and get the ball and runs like a deer? And he was a guy that I put on the list just to make sure we monitor.
Yeah.
Because I believe he also did some kickoff returns as well, if I'm not mistaken.
He was on some preseason watch list, and one of the grades I got from some of my people there, he was potential late round priority free agent type coming into the season, but he was popping. He was on our list of pop or drop, but he certainly popped in a situation where they were struggling at times to move the ball.
Yeah, but he is a big physical receiver. It looks like he can run, little raw. He had glimpses to me, and I'm not going to go crazy on it yet, of Cordero Patterson type traits.
Yeah.
With that
no, he looked like him getting off the bus.
Yeah, that size, that athleticism. I just first, like I said, you go through your pewter and try to figure out, comps or things like that. When I was watching that, boom, Cordell Patterson popped up into my head just initially.
You used the Rick pewter.
Yeah, and I didn't watch the tape on him, but just watching TV scouting, that was the first guy that popped into my head because of the unique size and athleticism.
Yep, South Carolina wide receiver is Xavier Leggett, number 17, if you're keeping notes at home there. All right, let's go to the other side of the ball. Drake May, he started 10 of 10 in the first quarter. I mean, he was dealing. Missed a deep ball out of bounds early in the game. And I thought he did a lot of things well, a lot of what we knew he could do. He's athletic. He has a pretty good arm. But then he had a couple questionable throws. The second interception wasn't his fault, but the first one, you're wondering what's going on there. Is that a concern? Is that just part of the growing process? Is week one? What do you think?
Well, I got that answered when he got nailed, throwing it off his back foot and threw the touchdown during the game. I can't remember what quarter it was, but he rolled out to his left and off balance, threw one up there, and the receiver made a great catch, adjusting to the throw in the end zone. But I thought it was a great throw, and he just needs to cut down. I think he is a little bit of a risk taker.
Yeah.
I think that first interception, just throw the ball away and live for another down or punt the ball. Second one wasn't his fault. First one was, and I think he'll learn from that. But there's no question in my mind he is right up there as a number 2 quarterback off the board. And I don't think it's close right now.
And it's not. We don't know who quarterback 3 is. Is the distance bigger between Caleb Williams and Drake May or whoever's behind door number quarterback 3?
There's a big bigger gap between Drake May and quarterback number 3 than there is between Caleb Williams and Drake May.
Yeah.
I told, and I'm probably going to get ripped. I said I just see traits of Lawrence.
No, that's their worst comps in that.
Huh?
I'm sure my comp was worse than that. I think I said Daniel Jones or
Oh
something.
my God, yeah, that was horrible.
There you go. If you want to feel better about yourself, just ask me my comp, and then you'll immediately feel like
I feel a lot better now.
Trevor Lawrence isn't terrible. Trevor Lawrence is more polished at this point, but
just the size and the movement skills and the arm talent. I just that's who popped in my head when I was watching him.
You think his arm is as good as Trevor's?
I think it. Yes.
Okay. Now, but it's not as good as Spencer Rattler's, I don't think.
Yes, it is. It's better.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. So Drake popped. Xavier Legette popped on the unofficial pop board. What about Spencer?
I would say I would give him a mild pop.
A mild pop. I don't know what Debo calls a mild pop. I don't know what we call no pop either. If it's just
No, it's like the scouts when they give a fence grade.
Give a what?
They give him a fence grade. It's like, I don't know. What do you think of it?
Gotcha.
But if we're not doing fence grades and you either have to say pop or drop, I will give Spencer a pop.
I think a fence grade in the pop or drop world is a dud. Like it didn't go off either way.
Well,
all right.
Drop.
I'm going to give Spencer a pop. I was happy with how Spencer played.
New rule on this podcast. It's either pop or drop. No
dud. All right. Pop for Spencer. Pop for Xavier Legette. Pop for Drake May. And by the way, the UNC offensive line gave him a lot of time. So credit to them. That defense was getting after it. So we'll keep an eye on the rest of those teammates around Spencer and Drake and see how they do there.